Raider reaction is for mature audiences only. So if you can't stand the heat, stay away from the fire. Talk about tonight. It's a Tuesday, so you know what that means. It's time for another Raider Nation report. Yours truly.
It's another beautiful day to be a Raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield, I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation, and you come back. Why? Because it's time. Time to bring them.
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live, as always, from inside the confines of Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. And just where is that, might you ask? Well, in case you're new here, you haven't been by in a minute, maybe you've had a couple adult beverages, some herbal refreshment this evening, let me give you some simple directions. It's just down the street, past the house with the boarded up windows. Make sure you stop at the corner and ask my man Joe. He's a gentleman and a scholar, as well as a man of commerce. So if you're slipping what you should, he's going to point you in the right direction. He's going to tell you to take a left and then a right. And as you find yourself strolling down the street, you're going to find a deep, dark alley to your immediate right. As you find yourself strolling by it, minding your own goddamn business, a cool breeze will hit you that chills you right to your skeletal core. You find yourself asking, Was that the autumn wind? You goddamn right. Should you venture down that deep, dark alley? Well, of course you should. Because what you're going to find at the end is a special little place that we like to call Deep Behind the Enemy Line. This is Raider Reaction. And as it is every Tuesday on Raider Reaction, it's time for the Raider Nation Report. With yours truly, a solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black. And we have a lot to get into, especially the bomb. I love when big juicy silver and black bombs get dropped right before I'm going to go on. It's great. Not necessarily right before I'm going to go on, but, this evening. But totally veered my topic of conversation. As most of the big splashes have been on offense thus far in free agency, we go and make, man, it's a splash. It's a controversial splash, controversial signing. So we're going to see how it shakes out. But Vontaze Burfict is now a Raider with a 1-year deal worth about $5 million. Now, when you say the name Vontaze Burfict, the first thing that comes to mind is, damn, that dude's a dirty-ass player. It's the first thing that comes to everybody's mind. Why? Because he's got a track record a mile long. We talked about it last week. As soon as I heard that this guy was released, I knew it was a distinct possibility. His history with Paul Guenther and being in his on his defensive squad in Cincinnati, you knew it was a definite possibility as soon as this guy was released. But let me... You want to throw up a question mark? Well, there's a big goddamn question mark. Yes, he's that gritty type of linebacker that we want. Yes, he's that guy that'll light somebody up. Yes, he's all of that. But he's this too. December 2018, fined $53,482 for lowering his helmet against Denver's Andy Janovic. October 2018, fined $112,000 for hit-to-head against Pittsburgh's Antonio Brown and James Conner. March 2018, suspended 4 games for violation of league's PED policy. October 2017, fined just over $12,000 for kicking Pittsburgh's Roosevelt Knicks. August 2017, suspended 3 games for hit on a defenseless receiver versus Kansas City, basically forfeiting $1.4 million. November 2016, fined $12,154 for unsportsmanlike conduct against Buffalo. October 2016, fined $75,000 for stepping on New England's LeGarrette Blount. January 2016, suspended 3 games for excessive hit to a defenseless receiver, basically forfeiting just over $500,000. Oh, and by the way, that was his new teammate, Antonio Brown. December 15, 2015, fined just under $70,000 for a combination of unsportsmanlike conduct plays against Pittsburgh. October 2014, fined $25,000 for ankle twisting against Carolina's Cam Newton and Greg Olsen. That's over 4 years ago, people. November 2013, fined $21,000 for spearing the Jets' Stephen Hill. September 2013, fined $31,000 total for 2 incidents versus the Packers. So, what does all that tell you? That tells you we just rolled some serious dice with that $5 million, and that is why that man was only signed to a 1-year deal. You come here, you keep your shit in check for 1 season, 12 calendar months, 17 weeks of regular season football, and hopefully playoffs. And we'll give you another contract next year. If you can bring us the nasty that we need and that is allowed inside the confines of the gridiron, then we want that nasty. We can't have the nasty that's twisting guys' ankles when they're already on the ground, that's spearing defenseless receivers, that's making stupid, dumb judgment call type penalties. Somewhat like, we've had guys. That's part of the reason Marquette King was ran the hell out. Stupid, selfish penalties. If he can come here, just light motherfuckers up, be the type of linebacker we need, next year, guess what? There's probably a 3 or 4 year deal waiting for you. And a nice payday. So I think this, as much as it's a controversial signing, I think this, it's a worthy gamble. We have tried the Perry Riley Jr. experiment, the Navarro Bowman experiment. We brought in an antique chief last year, and that was a complete bust. This is another experiment at middle linebacker. To sew up the middle of that defense. This guy can play. This guy can hit. This guy is a solid NFL linebacker. And he's going to come into a system and a defensive coordinator that he already knows. Has a lot of history with. So there are a lot of positives in this signing. It's a 1-year deal. You get your shit straight. You cannot get suspended. And you go back and listen, you look at the history of Vontaze Burfict. Vontaze Burfict has not played a 16-game season since 2000.
For more taste, fewer calories, and half the
hell is that? Vontaze Burfict has not played a full 16-game season since 2013. 2013. He's been suspended, injured, something. So, it's a bit, he's a gamble. That's why it's a 1-year deal. It's $5 million. If it's successful, it's a great move. If it's a bust, it's $5 million. And if you're not at risk, it's a 1-year deal. And so, it is what it is. I think it was a worthy gamble in a position that we have not been able to properly fill over the past several seasons. Not been able to adequately fill. So, is it controversial? You're damn right. It's controversial for the long list of reasons I read you. Which, they're long. And we've all seen the clips. I mean, you can go YouTube it. There's, all kinds of highlight reels of Vontaze Burfict trying to rip people's legs off and knock their heads clean off their shoulders. But he's playing in a position that you kind of gotta have that, don't you? Don't you gotta have a little bit of that nasty streak? Don't you? Don't you gotta be a little bit unhinged to be an NFL linebacker? Don't you? I mean, it's almost like safety. I kind of feel, when I saw Carl Joseph get some flags for lighting some people up in the middle last year, I didn't think nothing of it. Did I think Carl Joseph was a dirty player? No. I liked it. Made them think twice when they're coming back over the middle again. Because safety is kind of like a smaller version of linebacker, a little bit. You just got to have that mentality. So don't you want that a little bit? Isn't that kind of what we've really been wanting? So yeah, there's a lot of bad. And he's bringing a lot of baggage and a long track record of some not nice things that he's done. But This guy has been a solid starter in the NFL and a quality, solid, well above average middle linebacker, and we need one desperately. I think it's a calculated and worthy gamble for one season for $5 million. Let's do it. You're in silver and black now, and let's see what you can do. See what you can do. Everybody knows the risks. I guarantee you the conversations were had. These aren't stupid people. I mean, they did their homework. Mike Mayock and John Gruden, they know what they're doing, and I'm sure the conversations were had. So this is the latest in what has been a very, very exciting offseason thus far for the Silver and Black. And just to give you a quick rundown, as if you don't know, I mean, besides this signing, obviously the Antonio Brown signing has been the big one in the offseason. Trent Brown, Jonathan Hankins, bringing in guard Chaz Green, safety LaMarcus Joyner, who adding LaMarcus Joyner in with Carl Joseph is, you have the possibility of creating that dynamic duo back there at safety. You got Gary Conley over on the corner. You really need to add in. I don't know who that other one's going to be. I got a feeling there's going to be some sort of move made for that in the draft, because it's really shaping up to looking like this is going to be a very defensive draft. With the moves that have been made thus far in free agency, it's really looking that way. But those are your signings. We also picked up in the past week defensive end Josh Marrow. Spent last year with the Giants. I don't know how much of, of course, wishful thinking with this guy that he's going to help out a little with the pass rush. That's what we're thinking here. That remains to be seen. The wide receiver core that we've talked about over the past month on the show has really come around. As you've added Antonio Brown, you go out and get Terrell Williams, who was obviously taken from a division rival. He's a 27-year-old receiver. He's already got a 1,000-yard season. This kid is nothing. He's got nothing but upside to him for what he's got going forward. Really nothing but upside. We're gonna have to see. He's caught over 40 balls over the last 3 seasons. 41 balls last year for 653, 5 touchdowns. Adding this guy with Antonio Brown, you've got a whole new wide receiver core. You've added in J.J. Nelson. Now, J.J. Nelson, I saw a lot of people get really excited about this signing, and I'm a little tempered on this one. He's probably more of just some different depth and a different option to try out in our wide receiver core. You still got Marcel Aitman, who was a kid that I did start to like what I seen last season. Seth Roberts is yet to be released, barring every rumor that you've heard. He's still got a locker currently. He's still in-house, and he's still under contract. Brandon LaFell, haven't really heard anything about him. If they're thinking about bringing him back, he is a free agent, so don't know if they're going to bring him back or what have you there. Yes, possibility in the slot there, RL. Possibility in the slot for J.J. Nelson. He's a smaller guy. He's a speedster. That's probably what he's looking at. We really need that guy, and we have needed him. But the thing is, man, this guy caught 7 balls last year, okay? It's not like he's caught a total of 81 receptions in his career. And that's over several seasons. That's over 4 seasons. So he's not done a lot. He's had some flashes, and he's a very fast guy. So maybe mixing him in the slot when you've got the caliber of Antonio Brown out there that's going to draw a lot of attention. Tyrell Williams is going to be drawing some attention as well. And it's going to be a much different dynamic. Jordy Nelson has left the wide receiver core as he was released. And when I saw Tyrell Williams get signed, I honestly thought, I know there was all the talk, and Jordy said he was back for this season and all of that, but Mauricio, I second that. Fuck the Cowboys. So, I honestly thought that Jordy just didn't fit in. Jordy's not your third. And he's just not. I didn't see how he fit in that equation. Because Antonio Brown's obviously your one. Tyrell Williams is going to be your two. You're not moving Jordy over to your slot. He runs great routes and he's got good hands, but no, I don't see that. I just don't. Seth Roberts has one more season than J.J. Nelson. Somebody asked about his stats, and Seth has 158 receptions for 1,826 yards and 13 touchdowns, as opposed to J.J. Nelson, who has 81 receptions for 1,439 yards. So Seth has a lot more catches and about 400 more yards in one more season. So they're kind of comparable, really. But J.J. Nelson he's a little twitch faster than Seth Roberts, and I think he would be much better placed in the slot than Seth. Seth could stick around maybe for one more season the way things are shaking up. They kind of are. I've got a soft spot for Seth Roberts. I have, I was at the game with my son when he caught the big catch against Tampa Bay. It's like one of my son's favorite memories thus far of being a young Raider fan. And so I got kind of a soft spot for Seth Roberts. He's made some big plays, and every time Seth Roberts catches a touchdown, we win the damn game. That's just the way it works out. I think there's only one game ever that he's caught a touchdown and we didn't win. But like RL said, sometimes when Seth has made some big plays when you needed a big play. He did it last season. But he's also, man, when you just need to get a first down and keep a drive moving, he's dropped balls. He's not been that consistent guy that we've all wanted him to be and hoped he would turn into. He busts out a big play every once in a while. And then you're like, there's my man. And then you get nothing out of him. So it's really been peaks and valleys for Seth Roberts, and we need to see more steady play from him. And I think you would see him remain. He again finds himself teetering on the verge of not being a Raider in this offseason. Because I still believe that we're gonna go somewhere in the draft wide receiver. There's no need, obviously, to go first round offense, I believe, at this point, unless you're looking at offensive line somewhere, adding a stud in one of those top 3 picks. Other than that, with the moves that have been made through free agency, it looks like it's going to be a defensive draft, which I think is what Raider Nation wants. We want that stud edge rusher to replace Khalil Mack. We want possibly another stud corner, interior defensive lineman, maybe a young stud linebacker. Do you want to try and grab that stud corner to pair with Garyon Conley, with Carl Joseph, LaMarcus Joyner at safety? Do you want to build that defensive secondary? Is that what you want to do? Now, I want to throw out a shameless plug. All of you that are watching, and all of you that are watching, thank you, each and every one of you. Bill, Dat, Ralph, Leslie, Lines, Hot Neil, all of you. Each and every one of you, thank you for joining me, new and old, our band of pirates. Without you, you would be nothing. So thank you for joining us at Raider Reaction. We always appreciate you guys stopping in. But I do want to throw a shameless plug. Same Raider time, same Raider channel. Tomorrow night, we have our 2-year anniversary show where we're going to be giving away a lot of free stuff to the viewers that are watching. We're just going to take down random names from those of you that are watching, and we're going to be giving away some Raider Reaction t-shirts, bracelets, stickers. We've got some buttons, all kinds of stuff. Some vintage football card packs. We've got a bunch of stuff that we're going to give away tomorrow. It's our 2nd anniversary show. 2 years ago, tomorrow, this shit kicked off. And it's been a crazy ride. We're gonna relive some stuff, talk about how we started, give away some stuff. I'm gonna have some guests on. I'm gonna open up the phone line so you guys can call in, and we're gonna have a fun show tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night. It's the 2nd anniversary show of Raider Reaction, and holy shit, who'd have thought we'd still be here 2 years? And you know, we've got a strong following for social media platforms as well as our own website now, RaiderReaction.com. You see it across the bottom. Check it out. We've got the shop up and working, finally, lines. And so go check it out. We're adding new items to the shop all the time. I'm taking things out of my personal collection and stuff that I've been needing to put up for sale for a long time. Vintage rookie card sets, a lot of vintage stuff. So I'm going to be adding stuff to the shop, as well as we've got some new, fresh Raider Reaction stuff coming out. We've got our own line of hats that are coming out, as we've got the new big 6-inch sticker that we've added to the page, as well as the big logo sticker we've added. We've got a Steveljuice shirt that's going to be up on the page very, very soon, as well as the kitty table shirt that's coming too. And all this stuff's going to be dropping before the draft. So make sure you check it out. Everything's at RaiderReaction.com. That's our new central location for Raider Reaction. So check it out. A little shameless plug there, but let's move on. One of the biggest questions still out there in free agency, and I've been asked about it 100 times, and it is what is going on with Jared Cook. He's still out there. He's unsigned. Nobody has put ink to paper for Jared Cook yet, and he was one of the biggest question marks coming in to this season. I thought about a Jawalrus shirt jukebox. I thought about it. Maybe in the future. Gotta leave room for additions. But I thought, when you hear the phrase, we're going to let him test free agency, that meant done. No way Jared Cook's going to be a Raider. When you let a guy that come off a season like that go out and test free agency, that's usually a death sentence for them coming back. But what happened was Jared Cook has went out. He's made his rounds. And nobody signed him. Somebody say purple drink? Get it. And nobody signed him. So now he's kind of out there, and he's went somewhat of the way of what Navarro Bowman did in the year that he went out into free agency. And he may have priced himself out of the market. See, the thing is, this is Jared Cook's really last contract. He's getting a little long in the tooth. He's an older guy. He's already been with several teams. And this is really it. So, are you going to pay that guy that premium type of money? Rip Raiders right, he can't block. He's not a blocking tight end. He's more of that hybrid wide receiver type. Do you pay him knowing that you're basically paying him to ride out into the sunset? You know he wanted to go to a team that had that 1 year, but after that first year, is he still going to have that fire burning like he did? Because he's starting to ride out into the sunset a little bit. So now that he's went out and tested free agency, can you now bring back Jared Cook on a little more of a contract that fits in your pay scale of what you were wanting to pay him to begin with? Or, and here's the big wild card in this whole thing, John Gruden had Jared Cook at his disposal for a season. He likes a blocking tight end. He does. That's not Jared Cook. He likes a blocking tight end. He likes a blocking fullback. That's just John Gruden. When he came to Tampa Bay, Mike Allstott used to run the ball all the time. He didn't run the ball anymore hardly when John Gruden came there. He became a blocker. Because that's what a fullback does, right? That's what a tight end is supposed to do too. You can catch the pass, but you're supposed to block. So, is it that important of a position to have that dynamic pass catcher if he can't block for John Gruden? That's your wild card. Does the fact he's not an adequate blocker steer John Gruden away from bringing him back? Because he's still going to demand a pretty hefty little paycheck. Even though he's walked the dance floor and couldn't find another suitor. I'd take John Ritchie in a fucking heartbeat. Shit. Call him as Zach Crockett. Because we still need a running back. We still need a running back. I still am firmly planted on the one more year for Beast Mode bandwagon. That's where I'm planted. I haven't heard any news. There's been nothing on that front. It's been dead silent. I haven't heard Marshawn Lynch say anything. I haven't heard the Raiders say anything about it. That's the plan, Angel. That's the plan. Next Monday night on Madden Monday, I'm bringing my Raiders. We're not doing so good in the current PS4 Raider Reaction Offseason Madden Challenge. My Raiders we ain't doing so good. Derek Carr's out for 6 weeks. I had to go sign a quarterback out off trade for one. Man, we ain't doing good. But I got the Colts. Next Monday, live right here on the page. Raymond with his Colts. Me with the Raiders. We'll see. It's a must-win for me, Raymond. It's a must-win for me. So I went out and I traded for Nick Foles just for this game because I'm not losing to you, Raymond. So I'm getting ready. Derek Carr's out with it. What is it? Torn shoulder or some damn thing. But back to running back. I would like to see Marshawn Lynch. Man, Doug Martin, get the hell away from me with that Doug Martin shit. I don't want to see Doug Martin back. He had a cute little run there for a minute last season, and that's as good as you're ever going to see out of that guy. He's sloppy with the ball when he runs through the line. He doesn't carry it with two hands. He's loose with it with one arm. He fumbles too goddamn much. No, thank you. I've seen the best I'm going to see ever out of Doug Martin, and it was 4 years ago. Okay? Holding on. He got his jersey. Pat him on the back. Give him his fucking Raiders jersey. Here's your parting gift. Thank you for stopping by. Tie that shit with a twist tie. Set his ass on the curb. Thank you. So move on from that. Because I don't want to hear that nonsense. I'm over the Doug Martin experiment. So you go looking. You've got two real options. Actually three. The way I look at it at running back. How to sew up this problem. You've got what you've currently got on roster, which is D-Wash and Jalen Richard, who are basically the same damn guy. I don't think there's any reason that you need to bring back both again. I didn't think there was any reason you need to bring back both last year, but the reality of the matter is D-Wash got hurt, so you had to carry him into the season because you couldn't drop him because he was injured, and you got stuck with both of them, and Jalen Richard actually turned out to be a little bit of a bright spot, and I think he gained a little bit of a lead in the contest between the two of them. Going in, I thought D-Wash was honestly going to get the nod over him going through preseason, but that's not the way it worked out because he got injured. Jalen Richard, by way of injury, got most of the reps. So you got those two. Like I said, Doug Martin, we've already set his ass on the curb. He's not part of this discussion anymore. We're waiting to see if anybody wants to pick him up. Or they just Waste Management hauls his ass off for recycling. It's probably where he should go. Him. Pick Donald Penn up while you're over there. Take him to recycling too. You got them, and then you've got this guy that Raider Nation's really high on, Chris Warren III. Chris Warren III, who had this spectacular season in preseason last season, mostly in the second half, against second and third string defenses. But he had great stats. And we are a statistical world. And he had great stats. So everybody was like, oh, every time I mention running back, I can damn near count to 5, and Chris Warren III is in the comments. Every time. So there's that what there is for Chris Warren III is there's that mystery that you've seen that little bit, and it's just got you on the edge of your seat and you don't know what it's going to be. You see, oh man, I seen that beautiful run. But you got to remember what that run was against. A vanilla defensive scheme against seconds, thirds, and fourths. He's not ready to be a 1. He's not ready to be a 2. He's probably not even our 3 yet. He's a guy that he's at the end of your active roster at running backs, and you mix him in a little bit every now and then when you get a chance to see how he comes along. I think he's our project back. So I don't consider him really in the equation at running back, because he's not a guy that I think is that serviceable until he gets... He was very raw. He had some great stats and some nice runs against some crappy defenses in preseason. I'll give him that. But he did. He put on like 30 plus pounds in the offseason. Tamari hit the nail on the head. His pass blocking wasn't the best. There were a lot of reasons why that... End of the rotation, and he needs reps. Talk to me in another season, and then maybe we'll see something. He's a project. He's the guy you take late in the draft, and he's your project back. He's the one you hope pops into something. You got to try it. Everybody does. Come on, everybody does. So that's what you got. So you bring back Marshawn Lynch. Listen. Everybody says, oh, Marshawn Lynch only played a few games last year. He only played a few games last year because he was injured. He had a minor injury, and they shelved his ass because the team was going to shit. The season was going to shit. So they shelved him and left tread on the tires. That's why Lynch didn't play out the rest of the season last year. If it would have been a good team, he would have still been playing. I 100% believe it. They saved him because it started to see that the season was getting away from him. That the trial was turning out to be something completely different. So, I am a firm believer that that's another guy, Mern, is I have seen a lot of talks of Howard out of the Bears as a possible trade. When you go looking at the free agent list, most of the premier and top free agent talent has already been signed. I was high on Tevin Coleman, but he went to become a 49er. And I tell you what, man, they didn't pay Tevin Coleman shit to be a 49er. And if we could have got him for $3.6 million, $3.6 million, and you don't bring in Tevin Coleman, you're kidding me. That is insane. Once I saw the deal, I was just like, man, I really think he could have been something good for us. I really think he could have been something good for us. See, but you look at what's still out there, guys. Isaiah Crowell, Bilal Powell, Jonathan Stewart, Spencer Ware, Jacquizz Rodgers, Darren Sproles, Fozzie Whitaker. As much as he's got a cool name, I'd like to be, talking about Fozzie all year. Kind of like Frosty Rucker. That's just a bad fucking name, too. bad Frosty Rook. But that's the question. That's what we're talking about, Raider Oz, is who is going to replace Beast Mode. If you don't bring back Beast Mode, then we got to draft a running back. So if you're going to draft your number one running back, now you're probably talking about using one of your first-round picks on offense again. Which I thought we were away from that conversation. So that puts us back to that conversation of now you're using one of your top picks for offense again. Because if you're looking at most of the moves in the off season have been offensive, you would think defensive draft. Hey, nobody said anything about purple drink. Not for a minute. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. It's that time of the year where you just don't know, man. Your head, you want to be in their head and know what they're thinking, and know what the plan is, but you just don't know. Why do I think Lynch is waiting to come back? That's a fair question, Andrew. I don't know. I don't know if there's just discussions behind the scene and we haven't heard anything. You haven't seen the Raiders bringing in a lot of running backs to talk to running backs. You've seen them bringing in a lot of linebackers. They brought in a whole plethora of linebackers before they decided on Vontaze Burfict. But you haven't seen them bringing in a lot of running backs. So are they planning to draft running back? Because we don't have Doug Martin and Marshawn Lynch are not under contract, so really, Chris Warren the third. See, Taylor, I told you every time we start talking about running backs, somebody's what's up with Chris Warren the third? He's there. He'll be available. He was on IR all last season, and he will be there. He'll be in the mix, but he's really a project back, man. He's at the bottom of your rotation, so he's behind Jalen Richard, DeAndre Washington, who I think you get rid of one of those. I don't think you need to keep both. I think you go out and you get Beast Mode, you see what you can get out of him, and you draft a running back to go with him. Because I don't think you get that running back in free agency. It's just not out there. It's just not out there. It's the last year in Oakland. You've put the pieces around. You've now got an Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams. You've added J.J. Nelson. You've got a wide receiver core. We don't know what they're doing at tight end yet. They're starting to shore up the offensive line. They brought back Dwayne Harris, which is huge. Bringing him back was big. And he was one of the shining stars last season and had, by far the most electrifying play of the season against the Dunks. And it's great that they did sign and bring him back. So he takes care of your special team duties. I heard somebody ask me you think Antonio Brown will take kicks? No, he's not going to take kicks. He's our number one wide receiver. He'll be treated like one here. No way. No way. Oh, we got a chirper. Who's your team? There, Woody. You got something to say? Step in and bring the fire, or step the fuck out. Rep who you're repping if you're going to talk shit. So, interesting. It's been a very interesting offseason thus far. A lot of good signings. And let's continue rolling through them. The re-signed Jason Kabinda. Dwayne Harris, as I said, was re-signed as well. Traded away Kalichi Osemele. We traded him away. We've acquired the 140th pick, a 5th rounder, in return and freed up around $10 million. The releases thus far have been A.J. McCarron, which leads me to another position that I want to mention. Backup quarterback. You got to have somebody there to be that guy. It ain't Peterman. He's coming to be a practice dummy. That's basically it for him. So, we don't have that guy. And in the NFL, you need a safety net. If your starting quarterback gets hurt, you can't just flush the goddamn toilet enough. He's a Queefs fan? Oh, get the fuck out of here, man. Come on. You need to be worried about your star receivers beating their kids and beating women. But you guys might not even be able to field a team by the time 2019 season comes around. You guys are you're like the AFC Cowboys. It's like every other week somebody's getting arrested. Psh, fucking Queefs fan. Come on. When have you guys ever won anything? Please enlighten me. Have you ever in your lifetime, in your entire fucking lifetime, seen your team play in a Super Bowl? Let alone win one. Have you ever seen them play in a Super Bowl? Because I'm willing to bet that you were born after 1970, right? Which means the answer would be no. No. Answer the question, Woody. Have you ever seen your team participate in a Super Bowl? Ever. We're all waiting. We're waiting. Come on. Well, I'm sorry. Does the wireless keyboard not work that well in your mom's basement? In the middle of Missouri / Kansas? Or wherever the fuck you're at? No comment? I'm guessing the answer was no. No, I don't see an answer, douchebag. So if you can't answer that question, then please take your ass to the corner, to the kiddie table, sit down, and shut the fuck up. Thank you. Jordy Nelson was released, Donald Penn was released, but like I said, backup quarterback. I honestly believe we're going to go quarterback somewhere in this draft. Nothing crazy like what everybody's talking, like Kyler Murray or trading up to go grab one of these other, quarterbacks to challenge Derek Carr, any of that shit. I don't believe any of that is going to happen. But I do believe you're going to see a 3rd, 4th round, somewhere middle round picks. And you're going to find that project quarterback, that backup that you're going to bring in and you're going to groom behind your starter. Somewhere around the neck of the woods where, we found some other great quarterbacks have been found. That's honestly what I think. So I do believe there will be a quarterback that comes out of this draft, and he's going to be our backup. Also believe when you see some other guys that get released and move around training camp, preseason time, that you're going to see John Gruden pick up a veteran and bring in Camp as well. I really believe that. So I think there is going to be the addition of a veteran. I don't think that guy's out there right now. I think they're waiting to see how things shake out and sift out. Guys are going to be available. I really do. So, but I think they're going to draft some depth at quarterback in this draft, and that's going to help address it. Some of the other big news, it's been confirmed within the past week that we are going to play 2019 in Oakland. I know obviously it was a week or two ago that the news came out, but it has officially been confirmed. All of the T's have been crossed, I's have been dotted, and everything is now official. 2019, the Raiders will be playing in Oakland with an option for 2020 in case construction is not quite ready on the new palace in the desert. So that is a positive thing. I think that's what we all wanted. One final ride. Let's do it right. Let's pay homage Let's have the final ride. Let's celebrate it. Let's have the parties. Let's have the legends there. Let's have the concerts. Let's have the fan experiences. Let's enjoy every game, all 7, because we're getting fucked out of one that's going to London. And, you know, let's do it right. Let's do it right. Let's advertise it right. Let's know it's right. And play that last game in Oakland and hand it off and ride it out into the sunset, and let's go to Vegas. Let's leave it the right way. Let's leave it the right way. Let's leave it the right way. All right. What's funny is, you know, I watch you. I watch the comments, and you know, I see the little birdies chirping out there, and I see this douchebag chirping. And the funny thing about it is, you know, you get these opposing fans, and they'll come into a show where you're talking about, obviously, a team that's not theirs, but they hang around. Why? Because deep down inside of them, it's a little Raider fan that wants to get out. Everybody wants to be the bad guy. So it's okay, Woody. You can sit in the corner, because we know you really want to be part of this party. Because nobody wants to be a fucking queef. Nobody wants to wear fucking red and yellow. Who the fuck wants to wear red and yellow? Ketchup and mustard, stupid looking fuck. Your franchise is one of the most pathetic and underachieving franchises in the history of the NFL. You've choked more than Jenna Jameson. So, we waste no more time on you. But thanks for stopping by and spending your evening hanging around with a bunch of Raider fans. What the fuck is a kingdom anyway? What does that have to do with the queef? Or a stupid little Indian? Or whatever you guys are supposed to be? What does a kingdom have to do with that? That's royalty. You guys aren't royalty. That's your baseball team. You guys don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Even your moniker. Just asinine. Just asinine. You guys are a pathetic fan base in a shitty fucking... waste of time. Waste of time. In case you haven't joined the official group of Raider Reaction, click on the group tab on our Facebook page and come to the dark side. We've been expecting you. The official group of Raider Reaction, the Raider Reaction Empire. Come to the dark side. It's real, raw, uncensored. It's not one of those Raider groups where you got to join. There's a fucking list of 10 questions that you have to, I won't talk no smack. I only like the Raiders. I know who their first coach was. I mean, and there's a whole list of rules. You can't swear. Don't post pictures of this. Don't do this. Don't do that. No. There's none of that. This is a real Raider group where we're not tapping you on the shoulder every 5 minutes saying, hey, you can't do that. No. Real, raw, uncensored. Bring it. Join the dark side. The Raider Reaction Empire. Click on the group tab and join it. Come to the dark side. We've been expecting you. Make sure you check out RaiderReaction.com. Check out our shop. We've got new Raider Reaction swag up in there, as well as some vintage products. We're adding new stuff every month, every day, every week. So check it out. I'm adding a bunch of stuff from my private collection, some vintage stuff up in there. I've got a bunch of patches to add and a bunch more other stuff to add in there. Rookie sets. I've got vintage Raider cards and a bunch of other stuff that I'll be adding up in there, as well as some new, like I said, new Raider Reaction hats. New Raider Reaction shirts. Got the Steve Juice shirt coming. The patience, Andrew. We got it all coming. So keep checking back. We've got all of the fresh stuff up on there. Our Madden League that's going on right now. We're in about week 6 or 7 in our Xbox and our PS4 leagues. If you missed out on this season's off-season Madden Challenge, we're going to be doing it every season. So we're going to try to carry over all of the owners that we have this season and add more to them. And we want to fill this damn league, man. We want to make this an epic league. 32 owners in PS4 and Xbox that carry year to year. And so hopefully next season, if you didn't get in, you can get in. But I've got a big matchup on Monday. Me and Raymond A. Perez out there hanging out in the audience. Me and him, we're going to be facing off next Monday on Madden Monday. Colts versus Raiders, and damn, I need a win. All right. I like to end every one of my segments. Andrew alluded to it. With a little thing I like to call the WTF. Now tonight's WTF, I want to talk a little bit about double standards and how a certain section of society is treated differently than another section of society. And I want to talk about Robert Kraft. News came out today that Robert Kraft, that the DA has offered Robert Kraft basically a plea bargain to get out of his charges of soliciting of prostitution. And how? By simply just coming out and saying, yes, I did it. They'll drop the charges. By basically admitting that if you go to court, they had so much evidence against him that he would have been proved guilty. That's what they want him to admit. That if it went to court, I would have been found guilty. That's what they want him to say. So basically they're wanting him to admit to soliciting of prostitution, and they'll drop the charges. Now, I may or may have not been arrested in my life. Some of you may or may have not been arrested in your life as well. At any time was I never given the opportunity that, sir, if you just admit to it, we'll just drop the charges and let you go. No. My broke ass was never given an opportunity like that, and I'm sure none of you have ever been given that opportunity. The fact that this fucking rich prick that got caught with his dick in his hand at a dirty place that was running fucking human trafficking through it, and all he has to do is go up there and say, yeah, I did it. And he gets off? Are you kidding me? That is the most absurd shit I have ever fucking heard. What the fuck? Fuck that rich guy. Drag his ass to court, humiliate his ass, put his ass up on court TV. Let's all watch the spectacle and laugh at him. Please. Please. Check out our website, RaiderReACTION.com. Check out our shop, the Raider Reaction Shop. Like us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as share us, follow us on Facebook. Right here tomorrow night, same Raider time, same Raider channel, we're going to be giving away a ton of free Raider swag, Raider Reaction swag to all of the people watching. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. It is our 2nd anniversary show. 2 solid years of Ringing the Fire. 365 times 2. Hundreds and hundreds of shows. Streamed games, streamed every preseason game, live on location, met hundreds of fans. It's been a wild, wild ride, and we want to celebrate it all tomorrow and give back to you guys and give some free stuff away. So make sure you join us tomorrow night, the Raider Reaction 2nd anniversary show, right here, live tomorrow night. I can't believe it's been 2 freaking years of doing this shit. 2 years. We're still here. We're still kicking, whether you like us or not. We don't care. I didn't do this to build a fucking fan club. I did it to bring the fire, speak the truth about something that I love, and that's the silver and black. Thanks for joining me for another Raider Nation Report. Be right here tomorrow. We got some free stuff to give away. And let's celebrate 2 solid years of doing this shit. I'm out. Peace, love, Raider Nation!